The lovely information. So yes, if you can hear me, go ahead and type a Y or yes in the chat box. That way I know we're all here and ready to roll. Thank you, Curtis. How about Jay and Nika? Can you all hear me? Awesome. Thank you, Jay. How about Nika? Can you hear me? Yay! Okay. Awesome, awesome. Alrighty, guys. So, yes, thank you so much for tuning in. It's going to be a blast. Along the way, if you have questions, feel free to shoot them over. So, yeah, like I said, thank you. This is a very informal meeting, just to kind of get information out, exchange information, answer questions, any of that. So that's kind of the background. It probably will last about, probably a little under or over an hour, most likely under. I usually try and keep it short and sweet, just to get that information out there and get you started on your week. So what's our why? Why do we choose Monday morning at 10? Well, I think basically Motivational Monday is a segment of BresUmbrella, and I aim to uplift and inspire, but also to change the way we view our Mondays. So a lot of us think, Monday is a drag. It's, just rah, 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 here we go again, back up the hill. So my objective is to give, yay, hey, Zoe, how you doing? Is to change that, we just change that, because every week is a new opportunity to start again, to go after that goal, after that, the life that you desire. So that is my goal behind Motivational Mondays. As I said before, if you have questions, feel free to put them in the chat box, or email me. Also, if I don't have your email address already, go ahead and put that down in the bottom as well. Alrighty, so budgeting basics. So I'm starting out with the affirmations, and I'm gonna do this every week, just because I think that we have to basically claim what we desire before we see it. So even if it's not here today, that's okay. That's all right. It's all a journey. So we have to start with our conversation. We have to change our conversation. And in order to do that, we have to choose to be positive. And the way I pretty much try to do it with the Motivational Mondays is creating that positive affirmation schedule system. So, but you know what? Before we get into that, I have, let me get this really quickly. I wanted to share this with you all. Let me see if I can get it to go. It's going to go from you. Yeah, I really want to change the conversations that we're having. And if we're already having them, great, I just want to add to that, add some more positiveness to it. Um, that's the goal behind it. Let's see if this will be. Okay. Well, while I'm trying to get that up, we'll go ahead and move into the affirmation. So the first one that I want you all to say is, I am the CEO of my life. And an affirmation just means that after I say it, you say it, and you really feel that. You claim it, you believe it, and not just for today, but for tomorrow and all of your tomorrows. So that is the first one. I am the CEO of my life. I am breaking out of the dungeon of mediocrity and moving into superiorness. I am breaking out of the dungeon of mediocrity and moving into superiorness. I can have and I will have everything within my dream that I desire. I can have and will have anything within my dream that I desire. Hey, Shonda, thank you so much for tuning in. We're just starting out with some affirmations, claiming the greatness in our lives. So if you just want to jump right in, the one that we're on right now is, I can have and will have anything that I desire within my dream. And the last one that I want you all to say is, I will not be limited by low thinking, but I will be expanded by great thinking, thus great opportunities. I will not be limited by low thinking, but expanded by great thinking, thus great opportunities. Well, that's awesome, you all. Thank you so much for doing that with me. Uh, so we'll get right into the topic for this week, and it's budgeting basics. I think we're always learning how to better manage our money. How to make more money of the money that we have. So a starter is budgeting. Budgeting is the most, I almost want to say, the most crucial portion of financial success. So why is it so important? On the surface, budgeting might seem a little tedious, like something extra to do on your to-do list. But you might find it surprising that the value of budgeting could help you to not only track your expenses, but also uncover some hidden cash flow problems that you might be having. Oh, I don't know why I don't have extra money this week, or I don't know why this month seems to be a little more tight than last week. So this is going to be very key to figuring out how to make more, I guess, create that additional view of your money, but also to help your money make more money. So budgeting, I really truly believe, is key. And actually writing it out, not necessarily just having it locked in your brain, but also having something visual that you can see, whether that's on the computer or on paper, however that works for you. But I think that budgeting is going to be key. It's going to be key to attaining that greater wealth. I think a lot of us fear that, if we create a budget, that we'll have to cut back on like some of our fun spending. Like, having a coffee with a friend, or going to the movies, or, out to eat, whatever it might be. Nonetheless, budgeting actually might help you to create more expenses for that fun spending. But if it doesn't, it at least allows you to see where your money is going. So, what is a budget? What is it? What exactly is a budget? It's nothing more than a breakdown of, basically, a breakdown and a plan, I should say, of how much money you have coming in, and then how much you have going out. So, your income, and then also your spending. That's essentially what it is. And it's really important. It's key. Just think about a business. How successful would a business be if they didn't keep track of their expenses and their income and things of that sort? Isn't it the same nature with your personal finances? So you want to create a budget so that you have a more successful plan, and also you can save or allow for more money to spend. So with creating that budget, the key things that you're going to be doing is tracking your income and tracking your expenses. That's like the two basic things that's happening. The way you can track your income is by getting your bank statements, or a paycheck stub, something of that sort, to kind of figure out how much money you have actually coming in. So for some that might have direct deposit, you may want to take a look at your bank statement versus the paycheck stub. So that's going to be the first thing. There is a worksheet that I think is really, really awesome. And it helps you to kind of figure out, how much money you're spending, and I mean, it really brings it down to, like, the exact expenses that you have. So I think that creating something of that sort might be key to figuring out where your money is going in. One and the same, how much you have going out. So let's just say we'll use Betty. I thought that would be kind of cute and fun, budgeting with Betty. So let's say Betty, has, she's trying to get a handle on it. A way that you could kind of figure out what you're spending is using a note card file box. This is just one method that you could use, and it basically, you'll put like a tab for each thing that your expenses are. So maybe you have annual or monthly expenses, and then you have annual expenses. Some monthly expenses might be gas, grocery. If you have pets, pet expenses. And then some annual expenses might be like car registration for you and maybe your husband and a child if you have one that has a separate car. And then Christmas and birthdays. So that kind of thing. That would be a way of breaking it down to like the like nitty gritty of spending. And then Another thing that you want to keep in mind is, say you have it broken down, you want to make it more realistic. So even after you've broken it down, let's for the month, say you're using the car registration. So Betty and her husband both have a car, and they have to get their car registered. And it's $99 for each person, so that's $198 for every year. But if you divide that by 12, it's about $16.50 that they would need to save each month to attain that $198 when that time comes. So that kind of makes it a little more realistic when you're thinking about saving your money for a certain expense. I mean, you can even go as far as if you get paid every week or every 2 weeks, you could break it down that way. So $8.50 every 2 weeks is what you would need to save, or what is that? About $4.25 every week. So it's kind of like, okay, that makes it so much more realistic than having to come up with $198 on the spot, on that time frame or whatever, whenever you have to pay for it. So let's talk about 3 traits for budgeting success. So our motto with BresUmbrella is a positive mindset is the most important aspect of an optimum life. So guess what? It's also the most important aspect of your personal and financial success. So you want to be sure that wherever you are, if that's in debt, if you're living paycheck to paycheck, if you're balling out of control, in any of those situations, you want to have a positive attitude and also a positive outlook on, your life situation. That's going to be key. That's going to be the first thing. And, creating a plan for changing your current financial situation will help you to create that positive attitude if you don't already have one in terms of your finances. If you're in debt, figure out ways to minimize that debt. Get in touch with other companies that might give you lower rates. If you need to save and you're having trouble, you use a different tactic. So maybe you have an account but you keep dabbling in it. Get a safe or something and give the code to your husband, or somehow make it so that you don't have immediate access to it. Charge yourself for accessing that money or something like that. So basically you hold yourself accountable for saving more money for your your goals, whatever your goals might be. So that's the first important aspect. The second one is going to be staying motivated. Building on that positive attitude you'll need to maintain your motivation. So while you have that positive outlook, you're going to have to create that motivation to keep up that momentum. So that's going to be the second thing. If you're having trouble, say you are accomplishing those goals. So now let's say you paid off one card. Reward yourself. So hey, yes, I paid off that card. Now I have one less credit card. I saved that $10 last month, $5, whatever it is. Okay, awesome. This month I'll just reward yourself somehow to say, hey, I'm doing a good job. I'm reaching for my goals. I'm headed in the right direction. So that's going to be the second most crucial thing, is staying motivated. You'll need to find something that'll keep you going, that'll help you push through that extra mile. So it's really interesting too, because a lot of these concepts, we're talking about finances, but it's something that you can use in your everyday life too. Having a positive attitude, staying motivated. Those are things that not only are good in reference to your financial situation, but it's good to life in general. So yeah, keep those 2 key things in mind. And what's interesting too, when you reward yourself for doing something good, like, say you finally got the job that you were after, you were seeking it. Rewarding yourself for doing that will help you to keep a positive outlook while you're at that job, because you've started it with something positive. So just being on a positive track will be able to, or will help you to be able to keep that positive disposition while you're in that position and whatnot. So the third thing is keeping a realistic, outlook as well. Keeping realistic expectations. That is actually one of the biggest killers of your positive attitude and motivation. So if you don't set realistic expectations, then you feel, I guess, unaccomplished when you don't reach them. So if you're making, for example, if you're making, let's just say $1,000 a month, and you want to pay off a card, and it has, let's say, about $3,000 on it. You don't want to say, I want to have that card paid off in 3 months. Yes, you're earning $3,000 within that 3 months, but there's no way that you'd be able to pay off that card as well as pay for groceries, pay for rent if that's something that applies to you, pay for a car note, insurance, and all those things. So that's why budgeting is also a really, really good idea, because it helps you to see the more realistic things that you can do with your money that you have right now. And sometimes people feel like, I don't even have a lot of money to budget in the first place. So maybe not. That's fine, but you can still budget regardless if you're not making a lump sum of money. Budgeting is going to help you to feel secure in the money that you are making. So just start with what you have. Oh, thank you. I'm glad it makes a lot of sense. I try to make it, I guess, realistic, to, I guess, what we have now, instead of using like financial terms and da 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 da. Just kind of trying to like break it down, I guess. But yeah, so having those realistic expectations are going to be key to keeping the other two, actually. So they're all kind of like tied. It's like a cycle. I have a positive attitude because I'm motivated, and I'm motivated because I set realistic expectations and I accomplish them, and then I reward myself for accomplishing those goals. So as you go along, keep those things in mind: a positive attitude, staying motivated, and setting a realistic, set of expectations, things that you feel that you can accomplish. Let's see here. So yeah, so now how overspending breaks your budget breaks your budget. So this kind of speaks to why we want to, I guess, speaks more to why we should do budgeting, why it might be important. But one of the ways is because there's one of the biggest reasons for overspending is easy access to credit. So for me personally, I get so many like credit card offers in the mail. They're like, oh, this is a special offer for you, just for you, knowing they probably sent it to 25 other people, but they make it sound like they really, are giving you something fancy and spectacular and personalized and whatnot. But more than likely, it's just a way of getting you to sign up for a credit card or something like that. So yeah, I mean, it's so easy to get credit. Even for people a lot of people say I don't have any credit or bad credit. There's still ways that you can attain credit. But when people do and they haven't had it, it just makes it really easy to, overspend. So, you really want to be conscious of that, because overspending is usually the key thing. It's the key thing to not having a successful budget and or not having financial success. So, you want to, if anything, be spending at your income level, like what you're making, the money you're making, or under. So setting that budget will be like crucial. Another thing that creates that overspending, or how overspending breaks your budget, is if you have easy access to cash. For people who will spend will spend oh well, yeah, awesome. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad. Yeah, so some people have easy access to money. Banks are usually, even if they run, let's say 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., you might have access to that money 24 hours a day. If you want to get that money, you can go to the ATM and say, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and withdraw me a good, $200 right now, because I'm in the mood to go do whatever. So it is so easy to get access to your money. So that's what I was saying earlier. If you make a way to like force yourself to, I don't know, like pay yourself back, or charge yourself interest. All right, you dabble in that money, you gotta pay yourself 10% or something. So just ways to make yourself less likely to just go all willy nilly with your money. That is one way. You could, like I said, you can also get like a lockbox and put money that way. Like for me personally, I have like a debit card, but then I have cash. I'm more likely to spend money off a card than I am like in my hand. Like if it's cash, even though on the card it's cash too, technically. I just, because it's electronic, I guess. I don't know, because I'm not seeing it, but I would be more likely, or I feel more free about using the card. So being aware and conscious of things like that, will help you to be more conscious about the money, or be more, I guess, smart about the money that you're spending. And then I guess this one goes hand in hand with the easy access to credit, but misusing your credit cards. So I've heard, like, there was this guy, I think I met him like, some time back, but he had said to me, if you ever get a credit card, this is when I was younger, but he said, if you ever get a credit card, I'm not saying that they're terrible, but just one key thing I want you to remember: if you are going to use that card, pay it off in 6 months. So if you're going to use it, if you have to absolutely use that credit card, pay it off in 6 months, because then that way, it really helps your credit more so than hurt it, and it also makes you feel more responsible for either having that money already or coming up with it in a short amount of time. So I was like, oh, okay, that definitely helped me, just changing the way I view using credit cards. So that's one of the main ways people overspend. Yeah, it definitely taught me discipline. That idea. That's yeah. So when you're thinking, or when you're using that credit card, it's you're really overspending already, unless you have the money in the bank right now. So that's a key thing is being conscious of that particular idea. Is having a credit card is already a way of overspending. And a lot of credit cards have high interest rates. They offer you a 0% interest rate for 18 months, but then after that 18-month span, they charge you 23%. That's a huge amount of money. 23% is basically you're being charged 20 cents for every dollar that you spend off that card. That's a lot of money when you started out with zero being charged 0 cents for every dollar you spend. So being conscious of that too, if you do have credit cards, if you're thinking of getting them, figure out like what the interest rates are. And also something I found out is some credit cards have higher rates for when you get cash advances. A cash advance is when you take money off the credit card, like in a cash form. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh. Well, have a good day, Lorenzo. I really, really appreciate you tuning in. Yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you. The chief executive, I like that. Yeah, you just have to keep in mind that you're spending using a credit card is all, like I said, already in a form of overspending. So you want to be conscious of those interest rates and things of that sort. But yeah, I was saying that I found out that whenever you take that cash advance, they can charge you more. They can charge you, 20%, 30% if they want. And without asking them, you may not know that. Like a lot of them don't tell you up front. Oh, for every cash advance you take, we'll charge you 20% of the life of that loan. That loan that you take out for the cash advance. So just be wise and ask questions. Figure out what you're getting yourself into. That's going to be very, very important. Know all the background. Ask more questions than you need to. But, you just want to be in the know. I always say that, in the know. Be in the know about your... I don't know why this went back to the front. But be in the know with your money. What's it doing? Okay. So yeah, those are key ways how overspending breaks your budget. So, you know what? I have a few. I'll go into two. We got a little more time. Two more. One is basically, say you really want to do something, but it's optional. So you want to go out with a friend. You want to, what could we say? You want to buy that's a Starbucks. This is one for me. At Starbucks, I like the pumpkin spice latte / white chocolate mocha mixed. Oh my gosh. It's so good to me. And at the bookstore that me and my husband goes to, every time we go, I almost want to get one. But I don't need it. Absolutely don't need it. And it's like $3 each time. But that adds up. That $3 turns into, say we go twice a week, $6 a week. $6 a week turns into, what's that, $20 a month? So if I'm spending little expenses like that all over, that's going to add up, even though it started out with me just spending $3 one time. So you just want to be conscious that you're not giving in to temptation when you are spending your money. So make a budget for that fun spending and stay within that budget. That's going to be key to creating that financial success. So stay within your allotted amount of money for your budget. The idea is pretty much is you don't want to squander your financial future for a few guilty pleasures today, that are not in your budget, that you haven't factored into your budget. Your goal is long-term, long-term financial success, having it, every day, having financial success. So you don't want to choose a few guilty pleasures that might sacrifice your overall financial success. If you want to, still have something like fun and fancy, figure out a way to spend less money. So invite some friends over for dinner, have a game night, do some type of activity that you still enjoy yourself, but you don't break your budget. And the last one is spending to feel good. Sometimes we have this desire to spend money, and somehow it makes us feel better. A lot of people do shopping, and it's like they do it like a therapy. Shopping is a therapy, so that's another way that, that overspending might hinder your budget. you want to not do that if you can help it. If you can't, say it's something that you just really have gotten to a habit of doing, that's something that you could factor into your budget as well. So say, for a moment of bliss or something, name it something to where, it's money that you can spend when you're having a moment where you need to spend to feel good. But a lot of us do that. So, I just want this new pair of shoes, or this video game, or even a good book. We do that with that as well. Oh, I just want this new book that's out. So keep those things in mind when you're spending and being cautious of overspending. So you may feel good in the moment, about spending that money, but if you want to feel good over a long span of time, you want to be more wise about how you are spending your money. So some tips that we can keep in mind will be, the first one is the one I kind of went over already, but using that note card file to create a budget. So maybe some of us don't like to write down, an actual paper budget, but we need like something concrete. This is a great way to budget. So like I said, it's like a little black box. I'm not sure if you've all seen it before, but it's like a little black box, like a key, maybe has a key lock to it, and you just put like some note card file determiners, but it just has a name on there, so you can write, gas, grocery, pet, and like I said before, you could also do annual stuff, car registration, Christmas, birthdays. So you're writing a little slot for each one. And in each of those slots, you have, let's say a few note cards. So you pull out the note card and you write on there the date, let's say the month. So you're writing June, and you're writing how much money you are planning to allot to that particular thing. For gas, maybe $60 a month, or now that it's going down, we'll say 60, but $100 a month, and so that equals out to what, $50 every 2 weeks and $25 every week. So you want to make it so realistic, so you can make it so that it seems more attainable. By saying $100 $100 a month, that might seem a little broad. So you really want to make it realistic for you. Even if you have to do each day or something, if that's what it comes to. Some of us do have to do it that way. But, say $200 for grocery a month. $200 for grocery a month means $100 every 2 weeks, or $50 a week. So basically allotting that amount. So say that we budget, or we're using Betty, and she's making that $1,000. She's already accounted for, what is that, $300 of her budget with gas and grocery. So now that leaves her $700 to allot to other things that are within her monthly expenses. So that's the reason why having a budget helps you. You'll actually find that you'll spend better. It just feels better when you're spending. So that's one way. And then also, if you do like the idea of having a paper, more of a paper budget that you can see, it's awesome ways to go about, creating that paper budget. Like I like, what do you call it, Excel. So for me, that would be an option, because I like to see things on like a visual, I guess is what it is. I like to see it in the visual format. So say you're using that particular one. We're using a basic budget worksheet. And you write out basically your income. Actually, let me see, because I have one that I use. I'm going to see if I can pull it up so you all can see it on the screen, because then that way you'll have a real good visual. Full screen. If I stop sharing here and share my screen.
You off, Bree?
Sorry, I got disconnected. Thanks, Curtis. I was trying to share the screen, and that wasn't a good idea. The whole thing just pooped out on me. So, but I took a screenshot of it in the midst of that disconnection. So maybe it'll come up. Yes. Okay. So can everybody see this? Type a Y if you can see it in the box. Because I just took a screenshot since I couldn't pull up the actual. Yay. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Can you see it, Shonda, Nika, Curtis? You all see this clearly and everything? All right. How about you, Nika? Can you see it? I'll continue on, but I just want to make sure everybody's viewing it all right. Yay. Okay. So basically, this would be a really good way to create a budget worksheet. So you got your income, breaking it down too, even into segments. I thought that was really, really nice to give you a better picture. So you got your wages, interest, investment income, and other income. And then it also has like taxes. So what's taken out of the money that you make every month. And then you have your expenses, putting, mortgage or rent. This is also where you would write down, different ones. So you can see kind of there at the bottom, this first category is home. And the second one is utilities. But there's also others that you can write, like I said before, gas and whatever categories you want to create. But that is like a basic worksheet way of creating it if you need that kind of visual. Because for me, I have to have a PowerPoint type, not PowerPoint, but a Excel file type of view. Because then I'm like, oh, okay, step out and look at it, and that's kind of the idea that that's how it makes me feel. So, but we'll get the actual thing pulled back up. So that's two tips that you can use to create that budget. You can also take like all your, say you get your money direct deposited to your account. You can take all your money out, and then now you can see your money that you make, or take out the money that you plan to spend out as well, and you can see what you're spending, using, or I mean, if you don't want to take it out, I don't know if like a lot of money, whatever. But having monopoly money even, or like some type of fake money to represent the money that you are spending, and that'll help you to figure out where your money is going to. So in that note card file box you can put that $300 in that slot actually, or put the $200 for your grocery, or however you allot your expenses. But that will be a really, really great way to initiate that. So yeah, those are some different tips. That is pretty much it, guys. That's all of the info I have for you on budgeting. I really appreciate you tuning in. I hope it was helpful for you. Here are some other resources that you could take advantage of. If you have any questions, go ahead and shoot them over to me now. You can put them in the chat box or in the email. But yes, so I have motivational speaking. I can do live sessions too. This is a form of the motivational speaking. I love the Motivational Mondays. I also do holistic or life coaching. And this is basically like personal training plus diet discussion, essentially, and then life assessment. So basically assessing your entire life to figure out why you are actually overweight, if you are, or why you are having such a hard time sleeping at night. Your mind is racing, things like that. So pretty much any type of life assessment that, that's kind of where I stand with that holistic and life coaching. And then also event planning. I actually went to a wedding yesterday, me and my husband did, and it was beautiful, and I loved it, and I just really want to, get more into that, helping people to plan their weddings and birthday parties and things of that sort. I'm a bit of an organized, freak or whatnot. I love to kind of array things, the way they should, quote unquote. So that's where that comes from, event planning. Also coordinating. So coordinating would just be like being there at the event on that day. So that is something that's available as well. Resale shop, that's on the website, BresUmbrella.com, listed below. And it's under construction, but there will be lots of things coming up. I have a few items I actually need to add to it, some cell phone cases and headphones. But the resale shop is a extension or segment of BresUmbrella, and it is like gently used or new items that I want to sell to other people that might be interested in having those items. I've also got some on Break the Cycle Let your creativity run wild. Hugs, a gold mine. Let your creativity run wild. I'm planning to do next June sometime. The Hugs event, I'm not sure when that's coming. And then there's one I plan. Oh, there's a different event I plan to do in December that's underway. So lots of things happening. If you have questions about any of that, please feel free to shoot me an email or just check out the website if you just need some motivation. If you want to talk about having a plan for you, let me know. Just, I really like helping people accomplish their goals. Your goal is my goal. That's kind of how I see it. So, thank you so much. Without further ado, thank you all so much for tuning in to the end. And I hope that something here has been said that is not only inspirational but life-changing. And I hope you have a more than grand week. And remember, man, Mondays it's an opportunity to just, change the course of your life. It's a beginning. It's a new beginning. That's what I love so much. You can have as many new beginnings as you like. So, just have a great week. And I hope you'll tune in again next week. It'll be another one, same way. It'll be on couponing. So, that'll be fun and fancy. We'll be talking about couponing. That's another great way to save money. So, yeah, thank you all so much. I really appreciate it. Take care. Have a great week, guys.